ever again.
The thing is, you have all of this food in your house, but then you do like feasting with the king and the trying it with Phil or whatever, and it's always fast food. Why don't you show people your home cooked meals, Phil?
Well, I mean, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, the appeal of DSP Tries It is that I'm usually trying something that my audience can easily get themselves. A lot of people outright say, we watch your review, and if it's something that looks good to us, we go try it right after. You can't do that with a home cooked meal. I mean, you're not going to have the ability to make that yourself right away.
What if you gave out the recipe and
I
you
mean,
said to people and you could encourage people instead of buying fast food to be healthy at home?
that as true as that is, all right, and that is a good point because some people have actually brought that up over the years too. I don't really cook. I don't. It's my wife that's the good cook here, and
But hold on, Phil. I have an idea. Then your groceries would be a tax write-off. You
oh,
could
let's
claim, Phil, you could claim your groceries on your taxes, bro.
no, actually, you wouldn't because I already know about this. Trust me, I've looked into
Oh,
many
you
things
looked
over
at
the years.
you looked into it already. Oh,
You
go
can't.
ahead, King.
If it was a meal that was being made exclusively for a piece of content only, and it was only explicitly meant to be used for that content, then it's a tax write-off in the United States.
Yes,
If it's used for any other purpose, like let's say for example, you cook
but
the
this
meal.
is you eat all your meals on stream then, because you're streaming all day anyway. Boom.
Let me put
Free
it this way.
groceries.
I'm sure there are people who do it, but it's a gray area. And if the IRS wants to come after you for something stupid, that's something they will come after you for. They'll be
But
like, so
you
let me get
own
this straight. You spent how much money on food and you think you can write off everything on food forever? Are you out of your mind? And that's when they slap you with bullshit that you just don't need
But
the
Phil,
hassle of.
you own the IRS. Like even the Joker was scared of the IRS. Phil doesn't fear the IRS.
No, that is very
Phil
much not
somehow
true.
Phil, you defeated the IRS.
No,
You
listen,
defeated the US government.
listen.
You defeated the judge.
I pay so much money every year to do my taxes, you have no idea. If I told you how much I actually paid to have my taxes done, you would probably piss your pants because people don't believe it. But I have to make sure everything is correct. I have everything like the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted, hours and hours of work. I guarantee you other content creators don't go through half the trouble I do because of who I am, because of the level of scrutiny I'm under, because of the harassment. I have to be sure everything is always right. So I don't fuck around
Okay.
with anything.
Just
I don't.
like the 5,000 business expense.
That's right. I have to make sure everything is properly accounted for. I can't be fucking around. So
What didn't you like legally only turn like a $30 profit on paper every month with the $5,000 business
I
expense? Or
don't believe that's correct at all. I think that's what the detractors say, but I don't listen to their
oh
bullshit at all.
yeah.
Here's the bottom line at that because I've talked about this before. My story's never going to change on it. All right. I'm not a tax expert. I'm not. I'm not supposed to be, right? That's what I pay a person for to do, thousands and
Exactly.
thousands
You're a
of
video
dollars.
game expert. Yeah.
That's right. So I don't know how it really works. What I know is I have literal ginormous spreadsheets of data. Here's what I spend on this. Here's what I spend on this. Here's the cost of my office, my utilities, everything. That's provided to them. They figure it out. It's done right. It's filed every year. I pay what I got to pay. Sometimes I pay too much and it applies to next year. Sometimes I pay less and I owe more, whatever. But it's all done properly. I don't know the ins and outs. I'm on side scrollers and we got fucking stuttering Craig, who I'm sure is a tax expert, right? Asking me specific questions about, well, what about this expense here? What the fuck are you talking about? I'm not a tax dude. I don't know. That's what I pay someone for. I'm not going to waste my time scrutinizing this thing for an accredited business that's been in business for ages that knows what they're
No,
doing. This is crazy.
I never actually watched the Stuttering Craig thing. Did you actually? So did you take like a piece of paper and you wrote down like all the expenses or what?
He was asking me where all my money goes, right? Like he really wanted to get
Yeah.
into it. And I'm like, fine, here it is. I actually had it on my desk and I pulled it up and I'm like, here's where all my money goes every month. And I started reading it off. He had no interest in that. Instead, he's like, well, I want to know specifically on this month. Dude, I don't know. I'm not my fucking tax professional, nor am I going to tell you that shit anyway. That's none of anyone's fucking business. Why do I have to account for every single dollar I've ever spent? It's done properly, right? But these people
Yeah.
will never let it go. They literally think I'm like a fucking supervillain mastermind. Like I had this elaborate plan to scam everyone.
I think that you are. I think that you are that man. And that's why I respect you and love you so much, because you defeated the IRS. You scammed the US government.
Oh
You
my
got
God.
away with everything. You got a judge to certify it. The statute of limitations, I think, is up almost. So one of these days, Phil will be able to lay out point by point for everybody how he defeated the US government. And like, as a Republican, I think it's based. And I hope that this is the last year that Phil has to pay income tax. This is it. Trump and Elon Musk are getting it done for you, Phil. Don't worry about next year. Don't lay it aside. Don't worry. He's
never
got
know.
you covered, bro.
No, you never know. Here's what I'm worried about. Here's what I'm worried about. I know this is a little political stuff now, all right? They're talking about abolishing the complicated tax, right? Make it simple. Make it like a 2-page tax return and that's it. That's fine. But what's going to end up happening is it's going to be so simple that everyone's going to end up paying kind of the same. And my business, I have all this stuff going on. I have this office. This office is considered a tax write-off because it's a room in my house dedicated just to work. That's a huge tax write-off for me. You know, there's things that I get discounts on my taxes because I'm a small business and I have this ability to claim them. If they oversimplify the tax code, I'm worried I might actually end up paying more because I don't get my write-offs anymore. So I don't know how it's going to work. I mean, no one knows. No one's seen anything yet, right? It's just bluster and talk right now.
You're saying they're going to close the loopholes that allow you to scam the government?
There's no scam. There's no scam.
This isn't right, Phil. This isn't right. How can they do this to you, Phil? How can they actually make you pay taxes?
Unlike real rich people, I don't have the ability to have all my money tied up in investments and then use that as part of my wealth so that I can borrow money to pay for everything else. That's how rich people actually do it. They're so wealthy, okay? They have all these investments. They never pull out of the investments, so they never have to pay taxes on them. But based on their overall wealth, they then can go to the bank and be like, hey, I'm rich. Can I get a loan? And the bank's like, sure. So they give them the loan and they use the loan to pay for everything else. So they literally never pay taxes because their money just stays in investments forever. I don't have money in investments. I just started making good money in the last 6 to 7 months. I don't have that ability.
You
so
don't
if
have any investments?
No, I blew them all during those years when everything went wrong, you know, during the bankruptcy and everything. I had a retirement thing that got cashed out. Everything's gone. I'm starting from scratch. I'm trying to rebuild from the bottom now, you know?
All gone?
I didn't have that. I mean, I spent it all in the move. When I moved out here 10 years ago, I blew all my money basically on that move. I definitely got scammed by a few different places. I paid way too much for like the move itself. I paid way too much and I paid too much to furnish the house and I racked up credit cards. I screwed myself over, you know? So yeah, I got nothing right now. That's what I mean. I'm trying to rebuild.
They're calling you in chat the Wolf of Renton. It seems like you understand how all the markets work and everything.
I know everything. I just don't have the ability to take advantage of any of it because I don't have that flexibility.
What if we do day trading with Phil? What if every day you start playing the market and you don't give financial advice, but you let everybody know what your moves are in the market, Phil?
Oh, surely that would work.
Phil, I think it might work if you're like a financial guru and wizard. Like, you know better than these Wall Street guys.
Well, listen, already I've been presented.
Did you go to Harvard?
No, I didn't go to Harvard. I went to a Fairfield University business school, which is okay. It's just like a mid-level business school. It's nothing great or anything. But
you were the valedictorian, though.
No, not college. No. College, I barely cared. It was high school. I was the valedictorian. But I'll tell you this: I'm being presented with interesting offers. For example, someone is asking me would I consider creating my own meme coin.
Yes. I want to set it up for you, son. We're going to fucking go to the moon. We're going to be so rich, Phil. Come on.
Who wants some king coins? King coins.
We're so rich with it, we're not even going to need to do tax fraud anymore, King.
There you go.
No, there's no tax fraud. It's fraud what the government does to Phil. That's the real fucking fraud. He shouldn't have to pay a fucking nickel or a dime. And the people who think that Phil should have to fucking pay a nickel or a dime, you people are what's wrong with America. You're why America is in the state that it is in right now, because you look to daddy government to solve all of your fucking problems. You look to the welfare state to suck off the teat of it. Shame on you. Phil deserves to keep his fucking money, and it's actually a fraud and a scam what they're doing to him. You ever think about that? I do think we should get you investing, though, Phil. I think you should lay out your portfolio, your investments of the week, and all this shit. I think it'd be great. Bro, if you just took a small portion of what you're definitely not spending on WWE champions and
zero.
put it in the market, you would be surprised in 10 years where it's at. Like, or you could invest in gold and protect against inflation.
Gold, oh boy, yes, the gold investments.
Phil, can you explain once again how gold it doesn't protect against inflation and it's a bad investment?
No, that's the kind of advice that I save for paid viewers. I'm sorry, so we have to, we have to be hitting some goals,
Okay, I just looked it up. The university you went to is $56,000 a year.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know what it was back then, but yeah, it was expensive. It's a private university.
Like going to fucking Harvard, bro.
Yeah, I did go on a scholarship, but it wasn't a full ride.
Okay, so you went on scholarship to a $56,000 a year institution.
Yep.
And now you play video games?
That's right. I really use that degree, don't I? It's very useful.
What the fuck happened?
It's a scam. That's what happened. Oh, you haven't heard this story? Oh, you see, you're not in on all the lore. You don't know the lore, man.
I don't know. What happened, sire?
Dude, it's all a scam because here's what happened, right? So I'm going to school and I'm busting my ass and I'm trying to, do it. And I'm probably about 2 years in. I'm like halfway through my sophomore year. And I'm broke. I need money to pay these loans that I have to go to this school.
I need that money to pay these loans. I really do.
Exactly.
I need that money. Yeah, no, okay, go ahead.
It's a meme that's true because most of the kids that were going to that school were rich kids. Okay, their parents were paying for their whole ride, so they were fine. I was not. I had like a half scholarship. That's all they would give. They wouldn't give you a full ride scholarship to this place. So I had loans to pay for the rest of my tuition. So I was busting my ass. I was working 40 hours a week while I was full-time at university to get this done. I couldn't afford it otherwise. So here I am busting my ass, right? So I go, it's like maybe senior year now, okay? And I'm starting to look for jobs. I'm starting to apply. Every job in the sector, because I was actually, of all things, a finance major, okay? And so I apply for the jobs, like, everything you would think, an investment firm, a bank.
Ask, like the irony that a finance major went bankrupt. Fuck.
That's right. That really useful.
It really is a scam. What a scam. Go ahead.
It's a complete scam because I'm applying around and every job that I'm applying to says, well, what experience do you have? I said, what do you mean? I'm 24 years old. I'm about to graduate university. What experience could I have? Well, didn't you do any internships? What are you talking about? Internships? Yeah. While you were at university, you were supposed to be doing unpaid internships for free as a full-time job while you're also going to school. I said, well, how would I have done that? I was working full-time to pay for school. Therein lies the rub. The only people in the United States who get the good jobs in the finance sector are already rich because they don't have to work to pay for school. So then they can apply and they can do these internships and they go right into Wall Street when they graduate. Me, I had none of that because I had to work my way through school. So I graduate and I literally have a degree that's worthless. I might as well wipe my ass with it because it didn't get me anything. I couldn't get any jobs.
Because a lot of these programs require a placement, like an internship. There was no requirement for you to have a placement whatsoever anywhere.
The only thing that I did do a short-term internship over one summer with a life insurance company to sell life insurance. And let me tell you, it was also a scam. Just listen to this.
What do you mean life insurance is a scam?
Listen to this. Dude, you have so much lore to get caught up on. Seriously, you would have a field day. We got to do a stream. Seriously, we got to do a stream where we just go through my lore because you'll be blown away by hearing this stuff.
Maybe we do a walkthrough year by year Phil's life and get the lore dump. In grade 7, Phil was bicycling to the sandbox or some shit.
Yeah. I mean, life insurance is the worst. So basically, either you sell them a whole bunch of stuff and make them money, or else they tell you, oh, you're horrible and now we're going to bill you. That's what they did to me. So I worked the whole summer for this life insurance company. At the end of the summer, I hadn't done enough sales for them for free. And they said, oh, here's a bill for the rental of the desk that you worked at and the phone line that we gave you to sell life insurance.
You're the closer, Phil.
Do you know what
closer.
Do you know what I responded? I literally responded. I wrote them a letter. I said, go fuck yourself. I'm never paying you $1. That's what I should have mailed them the spoon.
Out of your ass, Phil?
Yeah. Let me say it this way. I didn't pay them a dime, and they never fucking contacted me ever again. But then, get this, they broke employment law in Connecticut. So in the state of Connecticut, if you're employed by anyone, and then someone calls you for
an independent contractor, weren't you?
Was still considered, I had worked for them for a temporary period of time, for that like 3-4 month period. So in the state of Connecticut, where I lived, if someone calls for like a referral call, like I'm calling, oh, this person's interviewing with our firm, you know, do you think, how did they do for you? In the state of Connecticut, you cannot say anything negative at all. It's actually against the law to shit talk someone who worked for you. You have to say, I abstain. Guess what happened? The guy who I worked for shit talked me. He actually broke the law. He started saying, Phil's a bum. Phil doesn't work. Phil doesn't do that. It was all a lie. But he was mad that I didn't get him tons of sales. So he basically shit talked so that I wouldn't work in the sector. I was like, wow, what a nice guy, huh?
Well, you ended up in the sector in the end anyway. All right, let's move on.